Hello friends, very good morning to all of you. So today we are going to discuss PF66, that is how to integrate React single page application with PingFederate using OIDC standard, and we'll go for the PKCE. As for single page application, that is the standard design, right? Standard workflow, I can say. So we have a good understanding how PKCE works, that how authorization call will work, how to generate code verifier, code challenge, and then how we can just exchange the code for a token, and then once we get an access token we can call some API. So we have that understanding, but we'll just try to see how we can implement this in our React code. So we'll just go through the code part. We'll just try to see what are the files where we need to update, so that you'll get a better understanding, and then you can implement it in your React application and test it. So yeah, let's begin. Start this this is my GitHub repository. I'll say this link in the description. So yeah, this code whatever I'm going to show you, this is basically tested on real-time application. So yeah, maybe you can try and let me know if you see any issue. Also, like before jumping to the code and the flow, I just want to just discuss one thing quickly. So let's say that let's say we have to let's say we have the application here, right? The application team, app team, I'll say, let's say the React developer. Okay, we have the React developer here at one side, and then one side we have the IAM team, right? Okay, now the challenge, I'm just trying to discuss the challenge, and then I'll quickly jump to the code part and the flow. So let's say that this is a React application, and we just need to integrate this React using OIDC standard. Okay, like with PingFederate or any other product. So basically in every industry you can see there is a centralized IAM team, which is basically just just working on this part. That means the responsibility of that team is to just integrate different kind of applications or onboard different kind of application to the PingFederate or maybe whatever Okta or Azure AD, so that like the users can get the single sign-on, multi-factor authentication or other facilities what IAM is giving, and to better handle the identity management, identity and access management solutions. Okay, now let's say that you have three scenarios. Like in scenario one, you just think that the React developer, okay, who is basically responsible for developing this React application, have the knowledge of OIDC. This person know that how OIDC flow works, what I need to update at which file. Basically he have a very good understanding of that OIDC also, along with the development what he or she is doing in the React application. So in that case the things are very easy, right? It can just simply just ask you some details, like give me the endpoints of let's say PingFederate, the authorization endpoint, token endpoint, like other issuer or the scope part, just basic details it will ask, and then they will this developer can quickly integrate this and then just go for testing. So in this case things are very easy because this person know that, right, OIDC thing. Let's talk about another scenario where IAM team know the IAM, they are definitely aware of the OIDC terms, like how that works, everything on the OAuth and OIDC. Along with that, let's say this person know also the React part, right? That how React application works. Like this person have the knowledge also of from React side, how React application works, in which file I need to update the endpoint, so that the React application can initiate a OAuth call to PingFederate, and then PingFederate has to handle that, right? The authorization, the code exchange, and all those things. So this person have that knowledge. Okay, let's say the React developer is not having that knowledge. He is only having knowledge on the application, but the IAM team have both the knowledge on the OIDC as well as on the React side. Then also things are very easy, right? Because this person can guide this person, right? Like, okay, just go to this file, update this endpoints like this. And then things are very easy. There is no challenge. So in scenario 1 also there is no challenge because this React developer have the knowledge. In scenario 2, again there is no challenge because this IAM person has the knowledge of React application along with the IAM things. IAM things definitely this person know, but along with that React knowledge also this person have. So again there is no challenge. Or maybe just talk about both the person have both the knowledge. This person also have the knowledge of OIDC, and this person IAM team also have the knowledge of React. In that case also there is a simple coordination between both the teams, and the things are the React application you can easily integrate using PingFederate with PKCE or whatever standard. No challenge in that. The challenge will come when, as I have seen, like in my experience, like in my last 5 years of experience, I see that the challenge is coming when, like, let's say this app team is only having the knowledge on the React side. This person is not having the knowledge on the OIDC. This person know, this React developer know that how React application works because he built the application or he or she built the application. So they have a good knowledge on the React application, on the coding part, right? But they are not aware of OIDC, how OIDC works, where I need to update the endpoints, how to just initiate the call, how to get just consume that, go for an access API call using the access token. Maybe that this person is not having much idea, right? Very less, like you can say nothing, not much. And if you just say, simply suggest that, okay, I'll just give you the endpoints, can you please integrate? This person is not able to integrate that because this person only know that I have the idea of the React only, not the endpoint OIDC configuration and all. So maybe the things are not like, maybe you will not able to integrate that in that case. Now coming to the IAM team also, this IAM team is also not having the knowledge of React. This person is also saying that, hey, I just know the OIDC part, I can simply integrate the connection and I'll do the configuration whatever in the PingFederate or Okta whatever product. I'll do this, okay? I can do in the IAM side. I'm not having much idea that how React application works, which file or how to initiate the OAuth call in the React. I'm not having much idea. So in this case, you can see this React person also don't know about OIDC, and this IAM person also don't know about, also not having any idea on the React side. So in this case, the things become little complex. It is not like you're not able to achieve you're not able to integrate, but the challenge is here. Why the challenge is like, now both the teams will search for some online documentation. This React person will also go and search for the what is OIDC, how maybe this person also has to understand about OIDC, like go to some documentation, try to understand. Maybe few things you will understand, few things you will not understand. Same this IAM person will also do. Just try to understand about React, right? How to integrate React with the identity provider using OIDC, what files, what code, just trying to understand. So this both the teams you can see trying to understand the other things. Like React developer is trying to understand the IAM things, like not IAM things, I'll say more about the OIDC thing. And this IAM team is trying to understand about React side. So like in this session, what we are trying to understand, like, and I'll say one thing, like, let's say this IAM team is already having the understanding of OIDC, right? So this IAM team is already know how OIDC works, how OAuth works, because they are already like integrating multiple applications. They have a very good understanding of all this terminology and all those standards. So what they just need to do, if they can simply just understand like how React works in terms of OAuth OIDC, things are become very easy. Like simply IAM team can just help the React developer, hey, can you just go to that files and just update these endpoints? Or maybe you can just share some good like documentation if you prepare, so that this React developer can easily use that and just do the configuration, right? So in this case, like I'll say that rather just if React developer wants to understand about OIDC, they can go, right? They can go and learn, they can go and understand. But to make the things little easy and more like fast, rather to wait for a long time, it's good if an IAM team, whatever the person like who is working on the IAM side, if they can just go and just try to understand a little bit on the application side also. Whether like it's a Java application, whether it's a React application, whether it's an Angular application, whether it's a ASP.NET Core application, if they can just try, like this IAM team person, just if any IAM like developer or the implementation engineer, if they can just try to understand more, like I'll not say very too much knowledge on that application side, but at least just to understand that which files and how that application works, it is easy because they already know about OIDC. They just need to understand that what library an application can use, how to initiate the flow, how to consume the code, exchange it for the token, how to use that token and call for the API. So those part this IAM team has to understand, and this is not very tough for them. And in this session, we'll just talk about the same thing on the IAM perspective, because and the documentation, whatever you build, if you can simply just forward that to this React developer team, they can easily understand from there, because the code you have tested already validated. So it's not going to take more time for this React developer to understand from their code, because it's just like the documentation will help, right? Which file, what endpoints, what configuration I need to do in my code side, so that my application can initiate this call to Ping or Okta or any other product, and then just do the like handling of this OIDC thing, right? So in this session we'll talk about the React. In coming session we'll talk about the another like ASP.NET Core, Angular, like that. So that like, yeah, so I'll just show you the good documentation, what files, what code you need to update, and then you can test and let me know if you face any problem. So this is a challenge I have seen, like, yeah, where like both the teams are having the problem. But to resolve that, I'll say, yeah, let's IAM team has to go just try to understand a little bit on the application, and then just say that to React team, or just try to help them so that it can be easily configurable like this OIDC thing on their application without like delaying more. Right. Okay, so let's jump to like that repository. Yeah, it's there. Like it's in my GitHub. I'll just share you this link. So yeah, like I just prepared this kind of documentation, like and I just put it here under this PF files only. Yeah, so integration of PingFederate authentication in React single page application using PKCE. So we are going with PKCE because it's a single page application. So I think you have a good understanding now that how like for single page application which flow I need to use. So that's why I'm using PKCE. Okay, so this documentation outlines the process for integrating PingFederate in a React single page using the PKCE. This flow ensures secure authentication and protects against common security risk, CSRF attacks. And CSRF attack is just to prevent, like, you just need to pass the state parameter. I think you already know that part. So that is the only thing, right? Okay, now the process consists of the following steps. So in this, like, what in PKC, you know PKC, right? So you have a good understanding of the flow. So in the first, like, how, like, application, what application has to do? So they first need to just generate the code verifier and code challenge. As you know in PKC how things work. Now after that, they just need to initiate an authorization request to PingFederate, let's say. And then once at the PingFederate, you have already registered a connection, right, for the PKC. So for that, so basically the application has to initiate an authorization request to PingFederate. Now PingFederate has to authenticate the user and then generate a temporary authorization code and then send to the callback address of the application. Once the React application receives the authorization code, you just need to extend that. That means you need to go for a token call by passing that like temporary authorization code with the code verifier and client ID redirect URI callback address, like that. And then PingFederate has to give you access token. Once you get an access token, you can go for authenticated API call. And then the logout functionality is like, yeah, you can just build it like based on the access token lifetime, like that. Right, so this is the flow you have already understanding. Now we just need to go through like this basic like understanding of the code, like where we can update these things, and then yeah, you can use that. So first step one is like install necessary libraries, right? So for the authentication process, you will need some libraries to manage the OAuth2 flow. So in this case, we'll just use the OIDC client, a popular library that simplifies handling the OAuth2 and OpenID connect flows. Okay, so you just need to use this command like install OIDC client, install OIDC client, and then just run the following command to install the OIDC client library, like this npm install OIDC client. Okay, this library simplifies the OAuth2 flow, including code challenge, authorization code exchange, and the token storage. Step 2, the OAuth2 configuration. Before you start implementing the flow, you need to configure the OAuth2 parameters. This include like the basic PingFederate, like a PingFederate URL, client ID, redirect URI, and all those things. So for that, what you can do, just create a OAuth configuration file under like src auth. You can create this OAuth config.js to define the OAuth2 settings. Now use import user manager from OIDC client. So what is user manager? I just already put in my documentation. Let me show you. Yeah, so the user manager is an instance of the user manager class from that library what we are using, OIDC client, and it is used for handle the entire OIDC flow and OAuth2 authentication in a web application. And this user manager class provides method to facilitate the authentication process, manage user session, and handle the OAuth2 and OpenID connect flows, right? So it is instance of the user manager class what we are using, because we have just used that library, right, OIDC client. So that's why we need to use that import user manager from OIDC client, and then yeah, just replace with the PingFederate OAuth2 configuration. So here just we need to define the authority, right, the PingFederate server URL, then like client ID, redirect URI, response type, scope, post logout redirect URI you can give, like if you have that flow, and then filter proclaims true, like load user info, right? That is basically the user info endpoint what we are doing in normally in PingFederate or any other product, right, to get the user profile. Okay, so just you need to define these endpoints in this like auth config.js file. Then just yeah, like yeah, export const user manager equal to new user manager config, then you have the client id scopes is already generated. Now in the step 3, what you can do, like just generate the code verifier and code challenge, right? Then only you can just initiate the authorization call. So here till now we haven't initiated any authorization call to PingFederate. Just we are trying to, yeah, just do the prerequisites, you can say, like just adding the endpoints, all the important information in our file, and then we'll try to use that. So now we'll just try to generate the code verifier and code challenge. So create utility for PKCE generation, and also we'll try to generate the state parameter. So create a file src auth under PKCE util.js to generate the code verifier, code challenge, and the state parameter for CSRF protection. You already know that, right? So utility to generate a random string of specified length. So this is like the first you need to generate that, yeah, right, like code verifier, and from there you can just generate the code challenge. Just by using some standard class, you can use like secure random kind of that, or you can just, yeah, just use this generate random string like method, and yeah, like just set the char set, and from there just select, it's a kind of like random number selection, like a kind of opaque number we are creating just to, yeah, make the things secure. So from there we are just trying to generate a random string of specified length, and then utility to create a code verifier, and then we are trying to create a utility to create a code challenge from a code verifier. Okay, so this code you can use to just generate the code verifier and code challenge. Once that is done, you can just set some state parameter also, yeah, like which basically you can just do the validation when the ping is going to send you the authorization code. So that time you can just do the validation of the state parameter. Okay, so that is a utility for generate random state for CSRF protection. So yeah, so basically we are just creating the code challenge, code verifier. From code verifier we are trying to create a code challenge, and then we are just creating a state, like just for prevent CSRF protection. Okay, so we have the create code verifier, create code challenge, and create state. This is already ready now. Okay, as you can see, like yeah, we have the create code challenge, and we have the create code verifier, and then we have the create state, right? So once this is ready, now you can go for the fourth step. So now till step 3, like we just are trying to do the prerequisites only, like generating the code verifier, code challenge, state parameter, and then, yeah, like just adding the endpoints in our auth config.js file. Now in step 4, what we can do, like initiate the authorization request. So once you generate the code verifier, state, challenge, and other things, so next step is to redirect the user to PingFederate authorization page. So initiate authorization request, create a file src auth authorization.js, just create this authorization.js file that will initiate the OAuth to authorization request. So import user manager from like this /auth config, and then import create code verifier, create code challenge, create state from PKCE utils, right? That we have all the values. Now export async function initiate authorization. So generate code verifier, generate code challenge, state parameter is already generated. Now store the code verifier and state in the session storage. Why we are storing? Because we are trying to use then later. Because the first time when we are going for the authorization call, that time there is no use of code verifier, and the like state is being used there, but we just need to pass, but we need to store also, so that we can just do some validation, right? Just to prevent the CSRF part. So for now, just we are storing the code verifier and code like the state in the session storage. And then we are trying to build the authorization URL, and how the authorization URL will look like, it just like has the PingFederate authorization.auth2. This is the endpoint where we need to send the redirect like a user with the response type code, client ID, then redirect URI, then you need to pass the code challenge, then the code challenge method, scope, like that. Okay, so all those things, as you know already, like how we are doing that. So these all parameters and the state thing, right? So these all things we need to build the URL, authorization URL, and then send that user to the authorization server, to the PingFederate authorization server, you can say. So what happens here? We generated the code verifier, code challenge, and the state using our utility functions. We build the authorization URL that the user will redirect it for authentication. The state and code verifier are stored in session storage to verify after the callback, right? We need to verify. Code verifier, we are not supposed to verify this at this time, but we'll just like you see that when the token call, we need to pass that code verifier to the ping side. Right? I think you already know that part. It's a normal PKCE flow. So step number 4 is basically we have sent the authorization call. Now ping has to give a authorization code to us, to our callback. Now we need to handle that and then go for the token call. So let's say step 5 is saying handle the callback and exchange authorization code for access token. So once the user authenticates, PingFederate will redirect the user back to your app with an authorization code and the state in the query parameters. We need to handle this in a callback component and exchange the code for an access token. So handle the callback. So just let's create a new file callback.js under src auth to handle and call back the exchange the authorization code. Okay, to exchange the authorization code. So this is the basic, like import React from React, then user manager, and then from token exchange function exchange authorization code. That means we're trying to send the code to get an access token. So the pass the query params from the URL, that is authorization code, state from URL, state from session, right? Check for a state mismatch, like just try to verify if state from URL not equals to state from session. Then you can just let's say that just give some error because the CSRF attack detected, because the state that we have sent and the authorization, it's not matching what we get from the ping side. So in that case we need to stop that. Otherwise, if it is matches, then we need to go for the exchange authorization code for an access token. Right, so in this case we'll just exchange authorization code, then just console.log access token, then store the access token in the session storage for later use. So now here you can see that in general, if I just talk about like a normal flow, so in that, like you need to pass I can say code verifier, client ID, redirect URI, the temporary authorization code, all those things in the token call to get access token from PingFederate. Now in this case you're not supposed to write everything, right? Because that library is helping you to just make those things in the backend. So you just need to define this, like use this exchange authorization code part, and then like you should get an access token, because this will take care for the exchanging of that, for the exchanging of code to get an access token. Once you get an access token, you can store because you need to use that like when you're calling for the API, right? So that is the thing here. Okay. So basically, like we just check the state parameter here, return from PingFederate, matches the stored in the session storage. If valid, we call the exchange authorization code function to exchange the code for an access token. So here you are not writing entire thing. Here you are not just going for like, if you can just understand from the basic layman manner, right? So in this case, like we just need to go for HTTP post call, where we can pass client secret, not client secret in the PKC, basically like code verifier, you can say client ID, redirect URI, temporary authorization code. So we need to pass all those parameters to PingFederate so that Ping can just give me an access token. But in this case, you are just using this function, which is take care of that. Okay, step 6 is like the authorization code returned in the callback, it needs to be exchanged for an access token. Okay, so exchange the code for access token. So here you have the token.js in the src auth to handle the token exchange. Okay, replace with your token endpoint. Okay, exchange authorization code that we talked about. Okay, so here you can see like what we were talking like earlier. So here we can see that we added like exchange authorization code, like grant type code, redirect URI, client ID code verifier, and then you can go through this like documentation to just integrate your React app using PKCE with PingFederate or any other product also you can use. This is already tested like code in real-time application. So this is just like giving a rough idea, like, so you know that in the PKCE, like we have first we need to have the code verifier and code challenge, then I need to initiate the authorization request to PingFederate, let's say, and then Ping will give me a authorization code. So I need to just then use that authorization code like for an exchange to get an access token. Once I have the access token, then I can just call the APIs like user info or the other APIs, right, to get the access of the resource. So that's the basic thing. You just need to put in the React code. So let's go through this quickly to have some understanding. So first we can use this oidc client library. Okay, and then like you can just set up OAuth 2 configuration like this. Just let's put a file name OAuth config.js under the src auth, and then you can just use this like code where you can just add the endpoints of PingFederate like authority, the client ID, redirect URI, and other important information, right? And then like you can just go for the code verifier and the code challenge generation. You can use some it's just like a random opaque number, right? So you can use some secure random class. You can just use math.floor like math.random, right? So basically using that you can have some you can generate the code I'll say verifier, and from there you can just have a code challenge. And also you can use create some state parameter which can be used for the CSRF prevention. CSRF attack prevention that you already know, right? So in the authorization call, like application will send that state parameter to PingFederate. Now when PingFederate will send the authorization code back to the callback address of the application can just do the validation of the state parameter. If it is matching, it will go for the next action. That means like exchange the code for an access token, or it will just stop there only, right? So that is one thing. And then once you've done that, then you can initiate the authorization request. How to initiate the authorization request? You need to build that authorization URL, right? So as you can see, just like build the authorization URL, right? Where you have all the details, like you're just sending a request to the authorization. This is HTTP redirect only kind of, where you're sending a request to authorization.over to endpoint with all the information, response type, client ID, redirect URI, then like code challenge method, scope, all those things, state parameter. Okay, and then like, yeah, Ping will just authenticate, and then Ping will give you a authorization code. So then you need to just handle the callback and exchange the authorization code for access token. So for that, we are just trying to use like exchange authorization code function, which can basically just exchange the code and get an access token after validation of state parameter, right? Okay, so that's the exchange authorization code. Then you can use this, like, yeah, I just mentioned here the file name also. So maybe you can use this, like what file I can create and maybe how I can manage those. Or you have already, if you are React, like already developer of React, right? You're developing the React application. For you, it's just like a simple thing, right? You'll get a very good idea from there so that you can implement in your app. So here, like, yeah, you have that then exchange authorization code function, like when you're going for that, like token call. So token call is like you're passing the grant type, code, redirect URI, client ID, code verify, right? As you have seen in normal also. And then, yeah, once it's a post call, and then, yeah, content type, you just need to pass headers like this, method post. And then once you get an access token, like, so authorization code is sent to the token endpoint along with the code verifier to exchange it for an access token. And here we define our token endpoint, right? The PingFederate token endpoint. And then once you have that token, your part is done. You just need to go for an API call, and that call is just like you need to pass that access token as authorization header, and just hit that API to get that information. So for that, you just you can create some user API.js file under src API, and then like just use this get user info function like that. Okay, and yeah, const response equal to await fetch, just define the user info address, and then should be the method get, and then header just pass like access token in the headers as authorization bearer access token, and then you'll get the response. Okay, use the access token to authenticate API request by adding to authorization header as a bearer token, right? That way it we are commonly doing is using Postman also, you have seen. And then you can implement the logout if you want. I just create a file under like src auth logout.js, and then like based on the access token lifetime, like yeah, you can just define that like logout. You can say that if the access token is valid, yeah, it's fine. If it is expired, you can just, yeah, make the session out like that. Or maybe you can implement other functionality also as per your design or whatever, as per your requirement like that. Okay, so sign out redirect is the method we are using here, to log out the user and redirect them to PingFederate logout endpoint. User manager we already talked about, is an instance of the user manager class from the oidc client library. It is used to handle the entire oidc flow and OAuth 2 authentication in a web application. Okay, and this user manager class provides method to facilitate user authentication process, manage user session, and handle the OAuth and OpenID connect flows. So using this library is just making your life easy. It's not like you need to write everything, right? Those libraries are just capable to perform many things in the backend to handle those, right? So just to summarize this, like what we did, we just installed the oidc client library, configured OAuth 2 settings for PingFederate, generate code verifier, code challenge, and state for PKCE, initiated the authorization request and redirect the user to PingFederate, handle the callback, exchange the authorization code for an access token, and made authenticated API calls, implemented logout functionality. And this method ensures a secure OAuth 2 authentication flow with a CSRF protection, token management, and user session handling in a modern React application. So yeah, like we have a good idea of like as I told from the IM side, that how that PKCE works, but by just reading this code or by just getting some idea, you can help the application team or the React developer that, hey, you just need to update these all things in your application side. Like basically this is the flow, and these are the files where you need to update the endpoints so that your application can initiate this call to Ping, and then Ping will handle like this. So, and also you can just get some idea. I'm not saying to become an expert on the React side, but at least just get an idea how the React works in terms of this authentication and authorization using this oidc standard, right? So this code is going to help you there. And also you can share with the React team so that it will be easy for them. It will be very very easy for them because they already know the React terminology, React things. Just they need to understand, okay, this is the flow, these are the library, I just need to utilize and I can test that. And this is already a tested code, so please just verify if you are implementing some OIDC thing in OIDC flow in your app. It's with PingFederate, Okta, or any other product, right? It not matters. So just test and let me know if you have any issue, so we can go through and check that. But yeah, I think it should work, and I hope you have some you just understand this part. If you have any confusion, please put in the comment section, and we'll just try to understand. I will try to discuss again in that case. Okay, so thank you, and let's jump to the next session where we talk about other like application, maybe Angular. It's a kind of same thing, but there are a few terminology will again change in terms of Angular or other application technology, right? So we'll just try to understand that part. So yeah, thank you.